All right, picking up where we left off here, we were just talking about marriage and some of the things that come with it. Um, Now let's talk about teen marriages, all right? And it's funny, and the first thing it's going to list on here is that 60% of teen marriages end in divorce, okay? And I don't see that trend changing a lot just because in the book that I was reading, it kind of hit this on the head. It says, you're not emotionally mature enough, all right? I know I've actually been fortunate. I know of a few stories where there's been success stories of people getting married at such a young age. But I also know the stories where some weren't so successful. And the ones that weren't successful, I mean, they were, by the time their marriages were over, it was not nice. It's kind of ugly, actually. Um, the other thing that often happens in some of these marriages is that there's the unplanned pregnancy and they gotta, hurry up and get married because that's the right thing to do. And I understand why people do that. It kind of comes back to is where you're not emotionally mature enough and you're not mentally ready to take on those things. All right, this is part of what teenage marriages face. There's often going to be more financial difficulty because somebody's probably going to have to put their career path on hold and get a job to support the two, or maybe even three in certain circumstances. And that makes it tough on people. So being a teenager, I mean, yeah, just being a teenager in its own right is tough. And then you try being married to someone on top of it is also a tough thing. I will say though, about 40 or 50 years ago, 18, 19-year-old people getting married was actually a pretty commonplace. But there was a little different mentality and approach to marriage, and yeah, I mean, there was just a whole different approach to marriage in general 40 or 50 years ago than there is today. All right, so people that are married oftentimes are going to choose to have a kid, so they're going to choose to go into parenthood. Parenthood is a very rewarding life experience. I can speak firsthand to this. It can be very rewarding. It can be very challenging. Don't fool yourself. I was visiting with a person I knew the other day, and they said, yeah, their kid that was recently married said something about, yes, they want to just quit a job and have a kid. Which I kind of chuckled when that parent said that, and the parent chuckled for the same reason I did. They think having a kid is pretty easy compared to having a job, and believe me, it's a lot busier than what any person can imagine it being. Alright, just so we understand, parenting is the process of meeting a child's physical, mental, emotional, and social needs. You need to be willing to do all three things for that child. And that's what I mean when I say it's a very trying experience as well. I mean, kids will try you, they will push you to your limits, and you got to be willing to meet those needs of those kids at the same time. Responsibilities of parenthood. 1, you must have qualities that you want to teach your kid. You must also have the qualities that you're going to be patient, you're going to be understanding, and you better have a sense of humor. And I'm not saying you got to have a sense of humor about everything, but you need to have a sense of humor about a lot of things. There's a reason you have what the age of the terrible twos and the twice as bad threes, as I call them. It's those 2 years are tough on parents. Their kids are exploring the world and just grasping what's around them, both figuratively and literally. They're literally going to be into everything. They're going to want to play with stuff they shouldn't play with. They want to do stuff they want to do. They're going to try your patience. They're going to want to be very needy, and how you handle those things is going to do a lot about how they're going to live the rest of their lives. You got to make sure that you are obligated to them. And by being obligated, you have to be kind of a happy, productive, and caring individual to your children, all right? You got to show your kids that you are happy to be around them. You got to show them that, well, yes, you want them to be happy. You got to be productive in what you do, and you got to show that you're going to care for those kids when things aren't going well for them or yourself. It's some things you have to do. And if you don't, it makes it a struggle for the kid and the parent themselves. And the other thing you must have is unconditional love. this is hard to explain to teenagers because you've received it in your lifetime, you've never given it in your lifetime. And unconditional love is love without limitation or qualification. You're gonna love your kids no matter what. I'm not saying you're always gonna like what they do, but you're gonna love them no matter what. And you're gonna give them that support and what they need, hopefully, in their lifetime to make them good people in your own eyes. All right, teen parenthood. Approximately 500,000 babies are born each year to teenage moms. Of these 500,000 babies born, 79% are not married. All right. What a lot of teens don't realize is the demands of baby, and this is kind of where I'm going to come back to where I mentioned that story earlier of a parent talking to me saying their kid just wanted to quit a job and have a kid with their husband. And I kind of, like I said, I chuckled because, like it says here, being a parent is a full-time job and then some. You're gonna have someone that's gonna constantly need your attention once you have a kid. The first year of life, you are their everything. They will not survive without you. You got to be willing to basically live 18, 20 hours a day at times to make sure they're taken care of when they're sick and not feeling well. Because, like I said, they can't take care of themselves in any way, shape, or form compared to other animals in the animal kingdom. A baby born to a human is approximately, would be, how do I say this right? Most animals are born would be more comparable what a baby is to a human about age 1 versus what they are. So like when my kid is about 1 year old is about the equivalency of when, say, another animal has a baby. So, like, that's why, a lot of times babies are born, they can get up and walk and whatever else, like, say, a baby cow, a baby calf or something like that. A human being, it takes them 9 months to a year before they can walk. So, that just kind of puts a little perspective on brain development and other things in that nature. So, for that first year, you have to be there, everything. You're going to have to feed them, clothe them, pick them up, hold them, carry them. You got to be able to change their diapers, give them medicine, figure out what's wrong with them when they can't talk to you. And it's funny, you do learn how to do all of it. I remember with my kids, I can tell by how they act. I could tell if they were pulling at an ear, or if they were coughing and screaming, or if they were throwing up, or what was going on by what they did. And you learn how to do those things. But like I said, it's a full-time job and then some. And it's nothing to be taken very lightly to go into either. Risks of teen parenthood. Female development, okay? And I put this on there and I thought about it for a second and I go, yeah, it's true. Between the ages, I'd say about 15, 16 to the ages of 23, 24, the female body changes a lot. And in those 7 to 8 years, the female body changes a lot in a lot of positive ways that make it more adaptable to have kids. To go along with that, it also is, it's a maturity thing as well. Oftentimes they find that teenage parents are not getting adequate nutrition. So adequate nutrition is lacking, and also their prenatal care is lacking. All right, and this is not good for either one. This is not good for mom or child. It can lead to health issues if not properly supervised. I went to a number of ultrasounds and everything else, and they are constantly watching for this, that, and everything else. They do a blood sugar test on moms to make sure, see if she's got prenatal hypertension. Just a bunch of things they have to constantly check for to make sure everything's okay and make sure that mom and baby are all right. I mean, for all some people know is they may have a family history that they're unaware of in their prenatal care that needs to be have an eye kept on. I know one person who, I mean, they had one kid and they're one kid only because they had a number of issues with. She was on a Coumadin, which is a blood thinner, a very strong blood thinner, and during pregnancy she actually lived in basically a hospital for the last month and a half of her pregnancy due to the fact she couldn't take her Coumadin, but she had a number of other consequences and issues with it. Now, I know that's not teenage, but I'm just saying those are things that health issues that are you going to be ready to handle at 17, 18, 19 years old? And yeah, we'll go with that. Other consequences of teen parenthood are you're going to run into, like I said, financial problems. How are you going to pay for formula, diapers, clothing? Your clothes you're going to get your baby, maybe you're going to last 2-3 months at a time for the first year. Formula is not cheap. I'm guessing it's $25-$30 a week. Effects on education and career plans are going to be affected by teenage parenthood. My brother is a good example of this. He was going to college, had a kid at a young age, and he had to change kind of what his career plan was going to be because of that. I mean, it's worked out well for him, but it definitely changed his life and career path a lot because he is now responsible for a child and had to, earn money for that kid while he was in school, which doesn't work very well. It's hard to go to school full time and have a full part-time job and everything else, and it's a lot of work. It is going to cause a lot of emotional stress, alright? Your kid's crying during the middle of the night, you're already tired from the busy day you've had, whether it be taking care of the kid or a job, and then it's going to be an argument sometimes who's going to get up and take care of the kid. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a million other things that come with it. There's going to be people telling you how to raise your child, what you need to do, and blah, 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 blah. And this all causes stress. And a ton of emotional stress for you and everyone else around you. And like I said, being a teenager and dealing with it is tough. Just being a normal person and dealing with it is tough. I'll throw in here is that when I was 27 and had a kid, my first kid, scared me to death. I can't imagine what it would be like if I was 17, 18, or 19-year-old and had a kid, because that'd be even more, because like we said, we just talked about little 3 different things just right here, and it creates a way different perspective on it. Alright, there's also going to be an effect on your personal and social life. Like I said, you're there for the kid. And due to finances and time commitments to your kid, you think social life goes out the door real fast. I was visiting with an individual just here the other day talking about how we're happy that one of our friends who's going to have a kid here, after being told for about 12, 13 years they couldn't have a kid, that they're going to have one now, and we're kind of joking with each other saying, yeah, this individual thinks that they're going to keep doing the same thing they've done for the last 12 or 13 years, and we're like, they're going to find out that, your social life basically disappears for a while. Your ability to just go do what you want to do changes. He said that this individual even made the comment that, yeah, after I watched the game, we'll take a nap this afternoon, and we're like, yeah, when you have kids, you don't take naps. The kid maybe takes a nap, and you might catch a little Z's then, but you don't actually take a nap. These are all the things that affect parenthood, and even in this situation we're talking about with teen parents, these situations are very difficult and very hard. It can be people can get through it. Like I said, my brother did it. I had a classmate of mine do it, and they're both highly successful people. However, statistics state that it does not go well for a lot of people either. So, beware of these things. Beware of what happens with marriage. Alright? This is the end of this section. I believe this is even the end of this chapter. So let's make sure that we're staying with the reading, and let's make sure we're getting our work done. Have a good day.